Hello, everybody. Welcome to Linkjoy Social Media Summit, powered by Pratham. Sorry for the delay. We were facing some technical issue due to which we were not able to connect, and
It was
we
not my fault. It was not my fault.
no issues. Welcome, guys. It is going to be a 1 hour session, and it is going to have a lot of insights. We are going to be having this a fireside chat kind of format where you all can ask questions, and we have Lorena with us to answer all the questions. Just before we start, a brief about what we are going to do in next 1 hour. We are going to talk about importance of humanizing your brand. Number one thing which you are seeing right now is a lot of people are running their companies on personal branding. So if you see Elon Musk, one of the richest guy in the world, one or two number, he is running his brand as a personal brand. And that is why if he tweets something, the stocks go up. He tweets something else, stocks go down. His company Tesla is not doing so much in terms of the revenues, but then also people are believing in it, and then its stocks are going up. It is just because of the personal brand. And we are lucky to have with us Lorena here. She has more than 27 years of experience in sales and marketing, and has worked with Fortune 200 companies to entrepreneurs, and has been helping people in South America, North America, Central America, and most part of America, to be fair to her. And it is going to be an interesting journey. Thanks a lot, Lorena, for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good evening over there.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this. Usually, Lorena does not do a lot of morning sessions, but for you guys, she has been doing it. So, first of all, let us start with where are you guys from who are joining us so that we can know more about you, and then we can ask Q&A. I have a lot of questions to Lorena. It is going to be a question and answer format. Before we start, Lorena, how did your journey span out? I know it is 27 years of journey, but if you can brief the audience more about how did your journey happen and what are the things that you did?
Yeah, well, I have good morning and thank you for inviting me. So my journey started 27 years ago. I started working with in the hospitality industry, most of it. I start from zero over there, I started climbing the ladder of corporate, and I did it until I was probably in my 30s. So I've been helping you know companies to open the markets in different countries. I mean, I went through all South America and Central America to brand their companies and create an office and start selling our products on all these countries. So I was in charge of on opening the markets, find the people to work with us, train them, and teach them how to do so. So yeah, I was the manager of international marketing for many years for a huge company here in the States.
Okay.
So now, after years, I continue doing the sales. I'm a closer, but also, I realized that branding myself and it was important, and how important was to humanize your name, your brand, and your persona, right, in front of thousands of millions of people. And this is what I have done, humanizing my brand, in a way that I can, communicate with my audience. And this has get me to 1.3 million of followers on LinkedIn.
Great. So this whole thing about personal branding, do you see the industry has been run in the same way because you have a lot of experience? So is this a new trend which is coming up? We just had a session about blockchain before this, which is a fairly new concept. But when you see importance of humanizing your brand, do you see it is a concept which has been there for ages, or it is again a new concept which is there in the market?
Well, it's been always. I mean, I always humanize my brand. I mean, when I talk to people, how do you talk to people face to face? It's exactly the same way how you talk to people on camera. So the problem is that corporate America has a ton of voice. Corporate market has a ton of voice that doesn't humanize their brand. So it's just buy this product. This is the best product that's it. Why is important to buy my product?
Yeah.
Who I am as a human being, right? That you, Sahil, it's gonna purchase my services.
Understood.
Because when you align your values and your beliefs, with your audience, is when magic happens. So this develops trust. So if you don't humanize your brand voice, if you don't humanize your message, if you don't humanize who you are, and you just stay there like I'm a salesperson, or I'm the corporate, or I'm the director, or I'm the, right now I'm training, I have a coaching session with 7 worldwide thought leaders. And I
Okay.
was in a conference with a thought leader yesterday, one of my clients, and she was telling me it's so hard for me to do this, and I was like, why is so hard? She's like, because I've been learning, and they taught us, my expertise and my title, which is the vice president of a big company in Australia, has taught her how she has to communicate in a corporate way
Yes.
to everybody, right? So right now, for her, humanizing her voice message, it's different that she used to do in the past. So this is what I do. I help people to humanize their voice message on social media, and learn how to communicate with their audience so their values and beliefs can be aligned.
So, what I understand out of it is you are helping people to unlearn what they have learned in their college life, because in the school life, people are always taught to be themselves. And
Yes.
something that I think you are preaching people is to be more human in a way, and tell people that this is how we have to communicate. Because one thing which I have seen nowadays, a lot of people say people buy from people, people do not buy from companies. And
Yes.
that is the most important thing which a lot of people forget, that people buy it from people in that way. So the first question which I have, Lorena, is in the journey of humanizing yourself, there are a lot of people who try to copy each other, which happens a lot because you see somebody else. So suppose for me, I see you as a brand or as a person who has got 13 lakh followers on LinkedIn. And then I see, okay, she has been getting it because of XYZ factors. Let me also start doing that XYZ things. Will that
Mhm.
work, or that won't work?
It won't work.
Great.
Because the way that I do it is the way that I am offline and online.
Yes.
So it's part of my character, it's part of my values, it's part of who I am as a human being. So you can copy me. I mean, there is a lot of people who has copy or try to copy what I do on social media.
Yeah.
And but in the end of the day, they can copy me one, twice, or three times on their content, but then it will show up who they are. I mean, it's best to be who you are, because in the end of the day, when I have people sometimes ask me, Lorena, can you please create for me my content?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, on personal branding, because unless you hire me as your coach
Yeah.
and you go through my program and I get to know who you are, then I can help you to write your content. But if I don't know who you are, it's impossible, because it's your brand voice message. You cannot let everybody to or anybody to create your content, because it comes from you.
Very true. Uh, Before we move on to next thing, guys, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. We will be asking questions. I have a lot of them, and if you want to ask some questions to Lorena, because you won't get this time, she charges a lot. Let us be frank, for doing these things. In a way, she has her one-to-one course, which she right now said. It is your chance to ask her questions right now. Please ask the questions in the chat box, and then we will move forward. So, as you said, people need to understand. So you do a course with them, and then you start building content with them. So, if I ask, what are the first steps which, if somebody is trying to do it themselves, or so for suppose Hailsha, uh, I have to start with my brand, or I have to start doing things online for myself as Hailsha. What should be the first step which I should take?
You need to make you need to before you do anything on social media, the first step that you need to do is to really dig inside of yourself and discover what are the values that you stand for.
Okay.
What are those values that are important for you? And I'm going to tell you why. Because in the end of the day, when you write your content and you share who you are and your beliefs to your audience, The only way that people is going to align with you is going to go through your values and your beliefs.
True.
So if you don't know who you are, and
It's
if you don't discover who you are, and you don't know what values you stand today, I mean, we evolve as human beings every second.
yeah,
So the same values that your parents taught you when you were a little kid and you were sitting with them having dinner are not the same values that you have today.
true, very true.
The same values that you have before you get married are not the same values that you have today. And as human beings, the whole world changed during the pandemic with coronavirus. Our values change. We value more our family right now. We value more the time that we have with our family, with the loved ones. Our values change. So what are those values that you stand for today? Because those values are going to help to align your content with your audience.
True. There are questions which are coming up. Let us take few of them. So the first question is by Ravina. She asked, "Does a brand need a face? Uh, is it necessary to have a face?" So suppose a lot of CEOs, CFOs, CEOs of the companies uh, are the ones who are promoting the brand. We had Steve Jobs, who was face of Apple for a long time uh, until he stepped down. Do you feel in the current times you always need a face for the company?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you need a face for the company because people right now, in the past, the marketing, take care of that. And marketing was the one managing the brand behind. But
Yeah.
right now, consumers want to have that communication with the brand. They want to have that communication with the thought leader who is in charge of that company. And if you don't step down and you don't start showing up on social media as the face of your company or your organization, your competition is gonna do it, and you're gonna lose.
True. Let us.
Many people is doing it right now.
Yeah. So let us take a question which is, I think, generic. What are the important factors in humanizing your brand? So first thing that you said was to know what you want, what your values are.
Yeah, learn what your values are. Recognize who you are as a human being. What is the purpose that you have, on showing on social media? And because you need to understand that right now consumers are more inclined to do business with people who has a purpose, to brands who has a purpose and do something for the community. So what are those? What is your why? If you show up only to create business
Yeah.
and just to make money, good luck. People will feel that.
Very
People connect with people. People make relationships with people. I had exactly. I had a client that I was training. She's a thought leader as well.
nice.
And before she hired me, she was making her videos, right? And show them on social media. So after 3 sessions, I sit with her and I say, listen, I have seen your videos. And every time you create a video, the first thing you say, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. And I'm the CEO of this company. And I am the founder of this company. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you are the CEO because I am a CEO, so I don't care. But I never call I am the CEO, I'm the founder, because there is the people that is gonna be in your tribe, many of them are not CEOs. And many of them are not in that position. So you need to create content and you need to have a voice that is going to be relatable to your audience if you want to create a tribe.
Great point. Because the people who are going to try to see content from their perspective also is what I think Lorena is trying to say. Because not everybody is at the same level, and not everybody cares about what you are doing as a person, but they want to see why you are doing that. Is
Yeah, they
the
want to
major.
learn from you.
Yeah. So while there are a lot of platforms, Lorena, you have been very famous on LinkedIn as a platform where you have been doing a lot of thought leadership. Is Instagram a good platform? Is what Zishan is asking us to humanize your brand in a way.
It is, but what do you need to think? I always tell my clients this. I mean, this is something that I have seen. for the last 4 years. Where do you want to brand yourself? Where do you want to brand your product? Where your target audience is?
Okay.
For me, LinkedIn is where all the decision makers are.
Yes.
Instagram is where all the kids of the decision makers are, right? Facebook is where all the spouses of the decision makers are. And TikTok is where all the grandchildren of the decision makers are. So it's up to you. What do you want to brand yourself?
Understood. So it's a very important aspect of knowing where your target audience is, and
Of
then
course.
trying to figure out the network on which you want to be. Which, when we consult the brands, we also tell them a lot of times. Everybody says TikTok is going out, is blowing up. Let us be on TikTok. But then the average ticket size of people who are on TikTok and buying things is very low. If you are a SaaS company, being on TikTok is not something that would be recommended to you. In the same ways, TikTok is a video first format. Slowly and gradually, YouTube is a video first format. Instagram is slowly moving into a video first format in that way. So if you as a brand are able to do those things, then only get on those platforms. That is what a lot of people do wonders with
I mean,
Red.
if you're gonna sell Pampers, if you're gonna sell a product for a stay-home parents that
Yeah,
is gonna be attractive for them, I mean, most of the stay-home parents are on Facebook
true.
because they are in all these groups,
Yes.
the play groups, the little kids. So this is what people does. So it's up to you. What do you wanna brand your product and your services?
Yes. So we have another question from Meenal. Before humanizing our brand, how important is it to understand our customer behavior and understand their psychology? What are some effective ways of doing it? So, how do we start with the whole customer persona in the first place?
Well, yes. I mean, you need to create your own avatar for your target audience. Who is your target audience? Who you are going to offer your services? And you need to really create a profile about that people. I have my own avatar for my clients, right? I serve leaders, thought leaders who wants to reassess their voice on social media. So those are the people that follows me, and those are the people as well who contact me because my message is directed to them. It makes sense. So how do you understand the psychology? Well, first of all, you need to understand and make a profile of your avatar. Who is going to be that profile? What are the characteristics from that people that you want to attract, and
Very,
what are those pain points of that avatar that is struggling now? Because what you have to do is to start creating content that is going to solve those problems that target audience is going through right now.
very true. Uh, a lot of people agree with what you are saying right now because few of them are there and they have been doing that. We have a lot of marketers out there who are watching this show with
Thank
them.
you.
Before we move forward, guys,
Thank
do
you,
subscribe
Monica.
to this channel. Sorry, Lorena, you were saying something. I just cut you.
I was saying thank you to Monisha.
Okay. Guys, do subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of other things which are coming up. So you might not miss out. Do subscribe and press the bell icon. So then we have another question with us, which is to humanize the brand. So do we take consideration of the latest trend which are going in the corporate world? So is there a conscious effort which we need to make? So suppose we say there are new trends which are coming up every day. Now, like right now, people talk about blockchain a lot more. We had a session, but Clubhouse is coming up. So people do a lot of sessions on Clubhouse now. So how important is it for an individual to adapt to new platforms and know that these are the things which are going out in market and I have to now follow this trend? Or is it to be there and a platform which is comfortable to you to be on that platform?
No, you cannot do whatever is good for you and whatever is good for your brand. Remember, when you start going with the masses, you become part of the noise.
Okay.
So, what is gonna make you, branding yourself is is how you're gonna differentiate yourself from the rest. So if you're going among to everybody because everybody's going to the left, you're gonna go to the left. If everybody goes to the right, you're gonna go to the right. So you're gonna be part of the noise. What makes you different? What makes you different than anybody else that everybody's gonna start watching, reading, and sharing your content?
Very interesting. Very interesting. Uh, Having a herd mentality is always going to bog you down. That is something which Lorena has shared with us. Lorena, one more thing which is there: is it necessary to use multiple social media platforms or be restricted to one or two? Is being restricted to one or two is fine. Like you
Okay.
have a great presence on LinkedIn, and then you use it very extensively. And other platforms are there where you fairly don't have a lot of presence, but you feel. What is the reason why you have consciously made that decision? Okay, I don't want to be a lot on TikTok, or I don't want to be a lot on YouTube, or maybe you don't want to be on Instagram. What is that decision? How can somebody take that decision? Is what this question is about.
Because my target audience is on LinkedIn. I mean, I serve most of decision makers.
True.
So I also sell, startups and coaches and people who wants to leave corporate to start their new business, right?
Yes.
Like if they want to be a consultant, if a lawyer wants to start her own firm. So this is what I help them with, startups, right?
Yeah.
To start branding themselves on social media, but most of on LinkedIn. I for me it's important to have presence in all social channels, because your social presence is, many people ask me, what is your website?
Yeah.
And I don't have a website. If you want to read about me, just go to LinkedIn. You're gonna find ton of content that I've been writing for the last 4 years. So why I'm gonna pay $2,500 on a website and maintain the website every year and pay ads to come and watch my website, while I can post something on LinkedIn and have 1,500 likes, 600 comments, and 50,000 views? I will never have that thousands of views on a website.
Yeah. So it all depends on the kind of conversion that you all are looking for, and what are the things, what are your end goals in that way is,
Mhm.
I think, what is very important. Like you said, you help a lot of startups and the small businesses who want to start up. So there is a question which is from Preeti. How can we humanize a local small brand or a local small business? SMBs are there. You said you help lawyers to start their own firm. How should a small brand start humanizing their content?
Creating content. I mean, you need to, the first thing is that decide that you want to be in front of the camera, and decide that you're going to be consistent in your brand message, and decide that this is going to be the way that you're going to start promoting your business.
True.
Because if you show up once a month, it's not going to work.
Okay. So, in recent times, Jayadatta is asking, in recent times, many brands are using Twitter as means of humanizing. Brands interact with people directly there, and even meme marketing is becoming new normal. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Twitter is very hard to recognize somebody, because there's so much content
Yes.
every second in that place, and it's everything is so mixed,
True.
so you get very distractive and political issues on Twitter than the thing that you went through. Because when I go there, I try to look for something, and I always ended up watching what happened with the politics. What happened in my country, what happened in another country, and I start laughing about the memes that they have or the videos that they share. So this is something that this is something that I don't I don't go to Twitter. I have a presence on Twitter. It's
Yeah.
where I share most of my content from LinkedIn. But no, I also have a presence on Instagram. But I have a presence on Instagram because I have a presence on as well on Clubhouse. And Instagram is the link outside of Clubhouse. So that's why I have a presence in there.
Yeah. So one thing to learn here, guys, is linking your accounts, which I think Lorena said. Why you are on a platform and why you are on another platform is very important. So she
Yeah.
does not have a website, is what she said, because she wants people to read what she has done, she has a lot of authority on LinkedIn. If somebody goes to her LinkedIn profile and sees, then it is there what everything that she has done, and she has a lot of authority there. So that is the whole game of building your authority. So if you're building a website, it is a place where you build your authority. If you are on Instagram, it is where you build your authority. If you're good at memes, build post memes. There are platforms where memes go very well. Reddit is there. It's altogether a different platform, very hard to crack. Like Lorena said, Twitter is very hard to crack. In a way, a lot of political content is running around, is what I think Lorena explained us. Your things might end up being lost, because as a new business, it is very important to be on a platform where you are getting heard a lot more. Is it true, Lorena? Correct me if
Yes,
I'm
100%.
great.
I
So
mean, if you start on Twitter 10 years ago and you have 100,000 followers,
yeah,
I mean, that's your platform. But how many of those 100,000 followers are watching your content?
yeah. So that is the main thing, guys. A platform where people are coming on frequently. Why do people
Yeah.
are moving on Instagram right now? Because they know everybody is opening Instagram frequently. They are coming there. LinkedIn, a lot of professionals are opening it frequently. But when we see on Twitter, Lorena explained it. There are 15,000 followers that you have, or 100,000 followers that you are having. But not all of them are coming on Twitter regularly. There is a small
No,
list of people who are visiting.
no, even on LinkedIn. I
Yeah,
mean, on LinkedIn, I have 1.3 million of followers and it's growing. I mean, yesterday I was counting from January 23rd
yeah.
to yesterday, I gained 71,000 followers on LinkedIn
Oh my God, that's a
in
very big number.
34 days, So, but not those 35,000 people are liking my content,
Very true. So
you know,
that's a very
but
important increase.
big, large number are watching my content. So
And
many of my content has been seen 100 times, 100,000 times, 85,000 times, 200,000 times. And I have content that has been shared 700 times. So, you cannot compare that with the website.
very true, very true. So if just expanding it, the increase in numbers of her followers was by 8%, 9%. If you see, she has 12 lakh followers at that point. Now she has 13 point something followers, and the increase is there. There's a lot of new consumption of content is there. But as she said, 50,000, 1 lakh is what the reach is. But new people are continuously watching her content. Is what is happening. New discovery of her content is happening on that platform. Monisha is
And
sharing.
I'm recycling my content.
Yeah,
I mean, I have content that I post last year that
yeah,
many people read it because I have a very, very loyal following.
very
There
true.
is a lot of people that comes every time to my post, right? So there is another people that comes to read my content, and there is people who didn't read my content last year because they just start following me 6 months ago.
Yes,
So what I do is I reshare again my content. I tweak it a little bit, I change it a little bit, I change the picture, I change even the hashtags, and I reshare it again. So a
yeah,
lot of people, read again about what I share, and people who didn't know what I used to do, what happened there and happened, and those content really goes viral again.
yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
So doubling down on your efforts, which have already worked for you, is very important in that way. So there is a question by Swayam. He is asking, please tell us more about how we can power our power way as a career and a future brand manager. Because a lot of companies are looking for brand managers. What should be the first step of becoming a brand manager, or what are the things that they can keep in mind? Are there any courses which they can do, or is there practical learning which is required? Can you brief us more about it?
Well, depends where you wanna work. I mean, brand manager is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to become a brand manager, because you have to do all the schedule of the post. You have to check all the content that is gonna be there. You need to start interacting with all the people that shares and socialize on the brand. I mean, it's a lot of things that you need to read. You need to start. You need to go and start your own brand and learn, because this is something that I posted yesterday on LinkedIn. You know, you can teach somebody how to ride a horse in a book.
Very true.
You need to sit in the horse and ride that horse to learn how to hold, and how to stop the horse and how to make the horse walking again by beating it with your feet in their stomach, and all these things you learn them by practice. And it's exactly the same thing on social media. I mean, people will realize and people will notice that you don't know anything. By practicing, you will learn it.
I think it is the most important thing for people who want to be in social media. A lot of brand managers says, I am not on this platform, but my brand is. So it is, how are they managing those things? Because they don't know what are new trends are on the platform, how are things happening on that platform. A lot of people who manage reels or their brands, and they say, I don't know how reels work. But how are you able to manage those things? If you're not consuming the content, if you're
Yeah,
not...
is there a manual where they teach you how to ride a bicycle?
No,
Is there a manual where they teach you how to drive a car?
it's practical is what it is
It's
important.
practical, and it says exactly. Nobody teach you in a book how to ride a horse.
True.
You need to jump into the horse and learn how to drive. You need to jump into the bicycle and learn how to ride the bicycle. You need to sit in the car and learn how to drive the car. So how you're gonna know what works and what doesn't work, and how to interact, how to engage, what hashtags to use, all the things that the brand needs on social media, if you don't know them, if you don't practice them.
Yeah. So there's a question. I think it's a very different one. But Zishan is a 17-year-old. He runs 3 Instagram pages from which he earns. And he's also working for a startup. But people don't reach out to him because he's a 17-year-old. How can he build his own brand in a way that his age does not become a factor of him earning more?
Well, Shishan, did you tell everybody that you're 17 years old?
Zishan, if you can say yes or no in the comments. I think he will be saying yes. It takes a bit more time.
I mean, why you have to say how old are you? In the end of the day, I just turned 50 years old on January 6th, and nobody knew that I was 50, 49, and when I say how old I was, everybody was like, oh my God, but I never say it. Why? Nobody cares.
Yes.
So, yes, I know that you're 17, but did you tell people when you create content, I'm 17, I'm 17, I'm 17, I'm 17? It's not the age that you have. You is how you create your content. Who is your target audience? If you are sharing content that is not relatable to your audience, is not relatable to your avatar, is not relatable to your product, this is not the way.
True. Swayam also has the same thing. He is also 18-year-old working with 50, 40-year-old local businessman. And so it also becomes uncomfortable for him to pitch. But confidence is the key is what he says. And I think Lorena also is saying the same thing. That how you pitch is very important, where you don't have to say the whole your age, your experience matters, your content matters a lot.
Yes, it's not your age.
Hmm.
There is, yes, because of the age, majority people refrain from connecting and working with you.
Yeah, it's the same question. Yeah.
You don't share your age. Well, you have to say, I am 17, I'm 18, I'm 21, I'm 28. Who cares? I mean, if you're providing me the solution of my problem, and if you are showcasing the solution of my pain points,
Yes.
let's say right now I'm looking for a assistant, right? I need I need an assistant, and I've been trying 2, 3, 4 different assistants that I don't want to work with them because they lied to me about the hours and they want to make more money lying to me about the hours. So I lost trust, and I rather don't have them working with me, right? So if somebody comes and write a content on LinkedIn or anywhere about the assistants, executive assistant, and
Yeah.
how the company, the values, the beliefs, and they continue sharing that message
Yes.
on social media, not only one time, but that's going to be part of their brand message, their core values, right? And the character and what the company stand for, which is integrity. If I
Mm.
start reading that over and over and over, guess what is going to happen?
Very
I'm
true.
going to hire them because that's their brand voice. That's their brand message. So you have to be careful. What you share on social media?
Okay. So there is something where Ashmita is having a question about. What is that most important, most people miss out while building the brand? Because you have seen a lot of content around, you have helped a lot of people. So, what are the existing qualities which a brand should maintain, and how to position themselves as a brand is what she is asking. So,
Yeah,
what is
there is two things. There are two things that people really confuse, right? So they think that they start promoting their product is the way that they can start creating content. Talking about the product, talking about this. People don't care about the product. Let me tell you this. Unless there is people from if you are B2B, fine. People don't care about that. If you are B2C, you need to humanize your brand.
understood?
You
So,
need to humanize your brand. I mean, even though if it's B2B, who is going to be the person that is going to hire you? The HR, whoever is another human being who feels, who also talks, and also is a human, right? So has the same emotions. So you need to humanize your brand. And what is the qualities existing brands need to maintain to position their brand? To be honest, to be true to your core values,
very
to
true.
provide the message that your brand is gonna give. What is the brand promise to the consumers? This is important. Right now, consumers are watching the brands, and consumers from now on are the ones that decide what brands live and what brands die. So it's up to you. How do you want to manage the profile, the image, the board message,
Yeah.
the authority, what is going to be the face of you, who's going to be the face of your brand, and all what is related to a brand.
Understood. So there is another question because a lot of new platforms are coming up. Slack came up as a community builder. People are using Teams right now. Discord is there. Clubhouse is also one of those things. Are these good options to managing meetups and business meetups for personalizing the brand? And
Yeah,
what is your take on that?
yeah, yeah. It's good. It's got a good option for managing meets, yes, and business. Yes, of course, it is a good.
Okay.
Discord can be a good option.
And how is your experience while using Clubhouse right now? Do you see it growing in future, or what is your early things? So first impressions of Clubhouse right now, because you haven't really.
I'm still like this on Clubhouse. I go, I tried. I'm very. I have a lot of passion, right? So I'm very passionate of what I do. So when I saw Clubhouse, I get a new phone because I'm an Android. So I get a new phone. So I having two phones, my iPhone and my Android.
Yeah.
Only I use the iPhone for the Clubhouse, right?
Okay.
So I get a new phone to enter to the platform, and I stay there for a week on the platform. I was there every day,
Okay.
and I make money. I mean, people hire me from there, but to be honest with you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of you need to be prepared. You need to know who's gonna be your the person who's gonna moderate your room. You need to
Yeah.
have a backup of people who's gonna help you also to bring the people to
Yes.
answer questions. It's a lot of logistics that needs to be done when you go to that clubhouse. It's not just to stand and not have anything because it's not a chit chat thing, right? People go there to make business.
Yes.
So I went for the first 10 days. I think every day I get so tired. Um, And then I decided that I want to start going twice a week. So I
Okay.
go Tuesdays and Thursdays only. And I open a room with Bill Dolan,
Yeah.
and Billy also comes. So we are a group of 5 or 6 people
True.
who comes, and we are there for about 2 hours twice a week.
Great. So, key learnings for you guys. Why did I ask question? Because I have seen Lorena being on Clubhouse every day, and then now in last week she has shifted to just 2 sessions in a week. Understand? She went on a new platform. She saw the things, and then she adopted the platform according to what her needs are. This is the way that you can use platforms according to what your needs are, rather than what platform needs. If Instagram is saying to post twice a day, it is not necessary to post twice a day. It is according to what your needs are and what your
Yes.
audience needs. Is
Yes. I mean, I have a friend, Billy,
Yeah.
that he didn't have a lot of following on LinkedIn with his podcast and with all these things. He had a group of people, but he didn't have a lot of engagement or a lot of people following him. So he's very good in what he does on his podcast. He engaged very well with his guests. People enjoy his podcast. So what he did is he's going every day and he's spending hours on that platform. Right
And
now, Billy has 10,000 followers on Clubhouse
oh my
because
God.
this platform really feed his needs,
Very true.
right? So it's up to you. Is if the platform fits your needs. I mean, LinkedIn fit my needs. Instagram, I don't post a lot of personal stuff because sometimes I share some personal stuff, but I don't like to start sharing pictures of my daughter every day, hugging my daughter. Why?
Yeah.
Or my dog picture, it's just like I'm I'm a businesswoman. So, you
Great.
know,
So,
thank you.
so there's a question for people who want to follow me. It is Sailsha0801, and Lorena is reachable on LinkedIn. Do connect with her there also. So there's another question. Is it necessary to use more and more hashtags and keywords during while we start branding? So how
Well,
important are hashtags?
on LinkedIn, you cannot use more than 7 hashtags.
Okay.
Sorry, it's too early here.
Yeah, we totally understand.
In LinkedIn, you cannot use more than 7 hashtags. Why? Because the algorithm, it will just don't take them. So be mindful, make a research before you share about hashtag of how many followers that hashtag has and how active is that hashtag. And if that hashtag is gonna help you to bring somebody. Like if I write startups, okay, startups. I would put startups on my hashtag. If I am a startup company, do you think that I'm gonna start following that?
Understood.
I'm gonna follow something else. I'm gonna follow personal branding. I'm gonna start following trends of LinkedIn. I'm gonna start following things that they're really appealing to me. So, why are you? That's why it's so important that you need to create an avatar of your target audience, because you need to make completely the profile about that person. Who will go? I mean, what are the hashtags that they may look for? What are the needs? Everything starts from your avatar.
Okay. So, extending this conversation, there is a question that Aslan has. So, etiquettes of businesses and doing businesses change from city to city, country to country. What's your take on this? Because as a global brand, few people are managing global brands. So they have a presence in US also, they have a presence in UK also. So how can they make it more personal? So both the audiences are able to connect with those things. So what should be the way ahead for these kind of brands?
Well, I've been on different countries with different brands,
Yes.
and I think human beings, we're still human beings. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, we just eat different food. Like you in India eat curry. I eat curry here in my house 3 days ago as well. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So we are human beings.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what country you are. If you're talking about the business etiquette, you just have to continue. You have, when you build a brand, you have your profile of your brand. You have, all what is related to your brand. You have the identity of your brand. You have your brand voice, your brand message. You have as well, the characteristics of the brand, right? So what you're gonna change it depends of a country. You cannot change it. It's the
Yeah.
same. People is gonna love you for who you are. People is gonna love your brand for what the brand is. It's not for you. You cannot change. I mean, I'm gonna change my behavior here because in UK people thinks different. No, there is gonna be people in UK who will like me too. Just go to the brands everywhere where everybody's buying. Nike doesn't change their behavior, just because they
Yeah.
want to sell from somebody from India or from UK. It's the same brand voice. You cannot change your brand voice. You cannot change your brand voice. You
Okay.
cannot change who you are.
Hmm. Uh,
Thank you.
so then comes Kavisha. She's asking, is a website needed other than social media for humanizing brand? So you also don't haven't built your own website. So extending this question for, is it compulsory or how necessary is it for people to have websites?
Well, and actually I'm looking for somebody to help me to build my website because I think I'm gonna start because I'm gonna have something to sell on my website. So I need to start building my website, but not because I need to start taking also my content from LinkedIn to my website.
Yeah.
Because once, I need to have another platform where people can find me easily and I start following my blog on that website. So I need to, just because I don't want to rely only on one platform. I mean, the platform can kick you out tomorrow and you lost everything.
True.
So yes, you need to have your website. I don't have one. I didn't need one, but I need to have one to start having my blog. I don't want to start collecting emails address and sending crap every day because I have an email address just for the junk, you know.
Oh
So
my God.
it's a website needed than others says, yeah, you need to have your website. You need to have your website because your website is gonna be the conversion. Where
Great.
people is gonna go there, people is gonna go to convert in your website. Like if I want to sell a training, if I want to sell a course, if I want to sell my ebook, if I want to sell anything, if I want to sell a cup, if I want to sell a t-shirt, my book, it has to be on my website.
Understood. So, see, there is a scenario. IDA model is followed, which is awareness, interest, desire, and then sign up or something which comes. Activation, which is what Lauren is explaining us. So there is a awareness part, there is interest part, which she has been doing it on her LinkedIn and other platforms. But for desire and action, which is required, so she wants to sell a course, she wants to sell a book. For that, desire comes when people land up on her website, and then she sells it, is the action part. So you have to complete the funnel. Right now, her whole funnel is being completed on LinkedIn because she's taking consultation there and she's getting things on DM, which is what I assume. And now for the courses and other things, then she will need a website. Is it correct, Lorena?
I will need a website for my funnel, yes, and I may need to. You need to I probably I need you to help me.
Sure, sure.
Um, to do that things. But this you need a website for a funnel. You need it,
Okay.
and I need to create my own website for a funnel. Yes.
Okay. So there is a question from Vinayak. How do you stand out among other brands, especially today when there is so much content out there? Because content is not something which is not there. If you are building a website, also there are a lot of blogs out there who are doing the same thing. LinkedIn also. So somebody who gets on LinkedIn is competing with you directly for some kind of content. You have 13 lakh followers and you are building your own content. Instagram, there are influencers. How should somebody start or stand out in the first place?
Well, you need to create a tribe. You need to start engaging on people's posts. You need to start creating friendships that are going to support your engagement. And also, you need to have, right now in any social media platform, to be honest with you need to have somebody that is going to take you under the wing.
Okay.
Honestly. I mean, because if not, who's going to see you? You know how many people send me messages daily on a private messages on LinkedIn asking me if I can go and like their content?
Okay.
And unfortunately, I cannot do that for everybody, because I will spend all my day just liking content. But what they want is they want my presence to go to their content. So if I like it and I comment, everybody else comes too, my followers. So you need to have some alliances over there with somebody who has a power.
Very true. Very true. So there
It's
is
not,
a problem.
I mean, I'm speaking the truth.
Very, it happens a lot. Very true. We run a brand called Hungrito. It has 60,000 followers on Instagram. The hashtag is very popular. People use this hashtag just to get reposted by us in a way. And so hashtag has around 70,000 hits right now. People are using it just to get repost and just to get more visibility. Like you said, it is important to get more repost and visibility for small creators. There is Priyank, who is a small creator right now. His original content does not get a lot of hits from his own account, but if somebody else is going to share it, it goes viral because these guys have audiences. So, what should be his thing for you? Because you said the same thing that people like. If you are liking somebody's content, it is surely going to go places, and then rest of the content that is for LinkedIn. But for Instagram and other platforms, people pick the original content and then reuse it. What should
What
be
is
his?
what is he talking about? What is he? My original content is not hitting from my account. It's on LinkedIn.
I presume it would be on Instagram. He would be maybe making memes or maybe making some kind of graphics and those kind of things, which is what I assume. Priyank, if you can brief us more, that will be great. Till the time, we can take other questions out there. Okay, the question is answered. There is again a repetitive question, but we can see is there most effective way to humanize the so what should be the most effective way? I think Lorena has been explaining it for last 50 minutes. To be yourself is the thing, right, Lorena?
Just talk to the people that you are going to talk in your content. Like, don't talk to the masses.
Yeah.
Create your content. Yesterday I was listening, and I'm gonna give you this as an example. I had, before I built my company, and I've been working for Marriott Vacation Club for
Yeah.
years as a closer. I'm a closer. So I
Okay.
am the person who come and talk strong and make the negotiations, the financial negotiations, and do right. So about 3 years ago, I met a family, a couple that came to my office, and we talk for about 4 hours,
Oh my God.
right? The invitation is only for 90 minutes. And we talked for about 4 hours. I offer them tea. I had in my office tea. I have chocolates, cookies, snacks. So we were laughing. We were crying. I told to them about my sister story and how she died of cancer. I talked to them about my father. I talked to them about my niece, who this is the daughter of my sister. I showed them pictures of my daughter. I talked to them about the 64 countries that I have been in, and my experience of traveling, and how many families I have helped offering what I used to sell, right? So during those 44 hours, we create a very good bond, right? In the end of the 4 hours, the guy asked me, so tell me, Lorena, I own already this product. If I upgrade my product right now, how it will help me?
Yeah.
So it took me only 10 minutes to tell him how, and he upgraded the service. He bought about $50,000 more in services, right? But and he was on Clubhouse 2 days ago, and he
Okay.
was saying how he met me, because I don't even know that he used to follow me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And when he came by surprise choice, I was the one who was going to take care of him. So actually, all what I was posting on LinkedIn, it was real to him because I was in front of him and I was talking just the way that I'm talking to you right now.
Very
So
true.
we make the deal, we close the contract. They become my clients over there, right? And when I resign my job and I start my company, he was my follower. We connect, we become friends. We live, both of us, we live in Florida and another cities, but we live in Florida. His wife and him live in another city. And and now he's a thought leader. He's a vice president of a big bank, right?
Yes.
Uh, he came to me and told me, hey, I need to humanize my brand. I need to start showing up more on social media as a thought leader. I need to build my personal brand. He hired me again.
Okay.
Okay, so he buy my services twice. Why? Why?
You.
Because I humanize who I am and I talk to him from person to person. When you create content on social media, create content not to the masses. Create content to one person that is going to be relatable or related to your story.
Very true.
Because everybody is related, right? So if I share something, it's going to be relatable to you. When I shared a story 2 days ago about, or 3 days ago, about why I left that job because it was
Yeah.
toxic, what they've been doing to me, that post went viral because many people has been in the same position that I was. So if your content is not relatable to your audience, you need to change the script.
Very true. As we are coming to the end, Lorena, a lot of people found this session helpful. Thanks a
I'm
lot.
glad.
Yeah, so we have a lot of comments where
No
people
purpose.
are saying that it has been helpful for them, and they are going to do it is going to be a lot of help to them. Thanks a lot for doing this with us. We had a great time. So people who are on social media want to connect with Lorena. She is on LinkedIn. She is very active there. If you want to post stories and those kind of things, do tag us there. I am Saisha0801. We have Pratham community with us. This is brought to you by Linkjoy, Linkjoy Social. Lorena, again, a lot of learnings, to be frank, and a lot of thought clarity is there. While people, because a lot of people take social media as a tool where they have to post 20 times a month, or on the all the working days. But I think with your thoughts in place, they will make it more personalized, more humanized. And the last part which you said was very true. Write it for that one person, or make the graphic for that one person who is going to connect with it, and then maybe
Talk
there.
to one. Talk to one, not talk to the masses. When you
Yeah.
talk to one, it feels more personal. It was my pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, all of you, for being present here. That has been a great experience. Follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, follow me whatever you want. Engage in my content. I want to get to know you. Okay?
Thanks a lot. Thank you everybody for joining in. We will be back in 1 hour with another session. Thank you. Bye bye.